Hello students, in today's video I'm going to teach you how to draw the Lewis structures of some simple molecules and ions. In the previous video we have seen the Corson-Lewis approach of ionic and covalent bond formation based on the octet rule. To understand that chemical bond formation we used Lewis electron dot structure of atom. How do we draw that? We have to write the symbol of the particular element and draw the valence electrons in the form of dots. Why do we use only the valence electrons? Because only the valence electrons in an atom get involved in chemical bonding. So same way, today we are going to see how to draw that Lewis structures for molecules, some simple molecules. To draw the Lewis dot structure, we are going to follow some 5 steps. In the step 1, you have to calculate the total number of valence electrons in the given molecule or the species, which means ionic species. For example, if you have carbon dioxide, you have to calculate the number of valence electrons in that carbon and also in the 2 oxygens. I will show you an example and explain. Now let's just look at the steps. So the first step, you have to calculate the total number of valence electrons. If the given species is an ion, if it is a cation, then you have to subtract the charge of the cation from the total valence electrons. If the given species is anion, you have to add the charge on the anion to the total number of valence electrons. Let's take the valence electrons as capital V. In step 2, you have to calculate the number of electrons for complete octet of all the atoms. For example, if you have carbon dioxide, for carbon 8 electrons and for 2 oxygens 8 electrons. So totally you need 18 electrons for the complete octet. So let's represent that octet electrons as O. In step 3, you have to calculate the shared pair of electrons by subtracting valence electron from octet electron. So let's represent the shared electrons as S. So S is equal to O minus V, where O is the octet electron, V is the valence electron. So if you do this calculation, you will get the shared electrons between the atoms. And in step 4, you have to draw the skeletal structure of the given molecule by intelligent guess to represent which atom is bonded to which other atom. After drawing the skeletal structure, you have to represent the shared pair of electrons between the atoms. And finally, in the step 5, you have to complete the Lewis structure by representing the unshared electrons, which means non-bonded electrons. Let us represent the unshared electrons as U. You can get that unshared electrons by subtracting shared electrons from valence electrons. So U is equal to V minus S. So altogether you should know the number of valence electrons and the total number of electrons needed for completing the octet, shared pair of electrons and unshared pair of electrons. Now let's try with an example. The first example is CO3 2- ion. Draw the Lewis structure of CO3 2- ion. So the first step, you have to calculate the total number of valence electrons. We have carbon and 3 oxygens. For carbon, the atomic number is 6. So the configuration, electronic configuration will be 2, 4. So the number of valence electron in carbon is 4. And in the case of oxygen, the atomic number is 8. So the configuration will be 2, 6 and the number of valence electrons 6. And we have 3 oxygens. So 3 into 6 will give you the total number of valence electron in all the 3 oxygens. So 4 plus 3 into 6. This 4 for carbon. There are 4 valence electrons in carbon. So 4 plus 3 oxygen into 6 valence electrons. So that gives you a total of 22. So there are 22 valence electrons in this given species. As I told you, this species is an anion because you have the charge 2-. In the case of anion, you have to add that charge to the valence electron. So 22 plus 2 because you have 2- here. So 22 plus 2 will give you 24. Suppose if the given species is cation, you have to subtract that charge from the total valence electrons. So since here it is anion, we are adding that. So the total number of valence electron is equal to 24. And in the next step, as we have seen, you have to calculate the number of octet electrons. So to calculate the number of octet electrons, see, you have 3 oxygens and 1 carbon. So totally 4 atoms are there. 4 into 8 will give you 32 electrons. See, I've told there are 5 steps. It is not necessarily you have to follow the steps and then draw the structure. Once you are used to the steps in writing, you can directly draw the structure. So all these calculation is for cross checking. So there should be how many octet electrons for all the 4 atoms? 32 should be there. So then what will be the number of shared electrons? 32 minus 24. So the number of shared electrons should be 8 electrons. So keep this in mind. So you need not use that number while drawing this structure. You can directly draw the skeletal structure and come up with the Lewis structure and finally cross check with these numbers. So after calculating the valence electron, directly draw the skeletal structure of CO3. I told you, use your intelligence to represent which atom is bonded to which other atom. So to write the skeletal structure, keep one thing in mind. Usually the least electronegative atom takes up the central atom position. So here in the case of carbon and oxygen, carbon is least electronegative. So that is treated as the central atom. And the same way, always remember hydrogen and fluorine will come at the end, which means outside. Suppose in your molecule, if you have OH, O and H will come outside. So H and F, which means fluorine, will come outside. Keep that in mind while drawing the skeletal structure. Now this is the skeletal structure of CO3, and after drawing the skeletal structure, put one shared pair of electrons between each carbon and oxygen. So put one pair, see 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Between each carbon and oxygen, put one pair of electron to represent the single bond. Now after this step, you have to complete the octet for this outer electron. So for oxygen, you complete the octet. So look here, already we have placed 2 electrons for this oxygen and carbon, and you have to put 6 more electrons to complete the octet for this oxygen. Same way, put 6 more electrons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 electrons. So octet is complete for that oxygen also. And same way, complete octet for this oxygen also, placing the electrons. So now after completing the octet for the outer electrons, now check for the central atom, whether the octet is complete or not. Now look for carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Octet is not complete. How many electrons are needed to complete the octet for carbon? We need 2 more electrons. So now to complete the octet for the carbon, you have to move a pair of electron from any of these 3 oxygen between carbon and oxygen. So I'm moving from this oxygen. So I'm moving a pair of electron from here to represent a multiple bond, which means a double bond between this carbon and this oxygen. Others are staying intact. You can move the electron from any of these oxygens, not only particularly from this oxygen, from any of the oxygen you can move the electrons between carbon and oxygen to represent a double bond. So now look here, this is the completed picture of Lewis structure. Now see carbon, here it is represented with a single bond, and here again a single bond, because you have just one pair of electron between this carbon and oxygen. And how many unpaired electrons are there? I mean unshared electrons are there? 6. So put that 6 electrons around this oxygen, and same way around this oxygen also 6 electrons. But here you have to represent it with a double bond, because 2 pairs of electrons are shared here, and this oxygen has got 1, 2, 3, 4 unshared electrons. Now you can use the numbers that we have calculated here for cross checking. See how many shared electrons we calculated. How to calculate shared electrons? You have to subtract valence electron from octet electron. We calculated octet electron to be 32. So 32 minus 24 will give you 8. So check whether you have 8 shared electrons. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 shared electrons are there. Now how to calculate the unshared electrons? Valence electrons minus shared electrons. You have 24 valence electrons, and how many shared electrons we calculated? 8. So 24 minus 8 will give you 16 electrons. So there should be 16 unshared electrons. Now check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 unshared electrons are there. And this is the Lewis structure for CO3, but you have CO3 2 minus. So put a bracket here and put this 2 minus here. So this is the complete structure, Lewis structure of CO3 2 minus. Now let's try with a few more examples. Let's draw the Lewis representation of SO3. So first step is to calculate the number of valence electrons. We have sulfur and 3 oxygens. For sulfur, the atomic number is 16. So the configuration would be 286. So the number of valence electrons, 6. And for oxygen, valence electron, again 6. So how to calculate the number of valence electrons? 6 for sulfur plus 3 into 6 for oxygen. So there are 3 oxygens. So totally you're getting 24 electrons. And this is not cation or anion. So you need not add or subtract any electrons. So the total number of valence electrons is equal to 24. Now draw the skeletal structure. This is the skeletal structure. And next step. And while drawing the skeletal structure, remember I told you the least electronegative atom will be the central atom, and put the others around it. And now put one shared pair of electrons between sulfur and oxygen. One pair, here one pair, and here one pair. So I'm putting one shared pair of electron. And the next step, complete the octet for oxygen. So already we have a pair of electron here. So put 6 more, and again 6 more electrons here and 6 more electrons here. So you have completed the octet for all the 3 oxygen. Now check for sulfur whether the octet is complete. No, we have only 6 electrons for sulfur. Now you need one more pair of electron. As I told you, for CO3 you can move any of the electron pair from these oxygens. So I'm moving from here. So here I'm getting a double bond. So represent that with a bond. So sulfur, double bond oxygen, and with how many unshared electrons? 4. And here 6 unshared electrons because there is a single bond. Same way, a single bond here and with 6 unshared electrons. So this is the Lewis representation of SO3. Now the Lewis representation of HClO4. So the first step is calculating the number of valence electrons. So for hydrogen, 1 valence electron, plus chlorine, 7 valence electrons, and for oxygen 6. There are 4 oxygens, so 4 into 6. So the total number of valence electron is 32 electrons. Now represent this with a skeletal structure. As I told you, take Cl as the central atom, and remember I told you hydrogen will come outside. Along with the hydrogen, fluorine also will come outside. So 4 oxygens and 1 hydrogen here. You can put the hydrogen along with any of the oxygens. Now put one shared pair of electrons between each atom. So between chlorine and oxygen, 1 pair. Same way here, here also 1 pair, and here also 1 pair. And again between oxygen and hydrogen, a pair of electron. Now the next step is to complete the octet. We will see octet for oxygen but not for hydrogen, because for hydrogen it is doublet configuration. So already 2 electrons are here, so hydrogen is satisfied. So you need not put any more electrons. So check only for the oxygens. We have 4 oxygens, so check for octet. Already for this oxygen we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So put 4 more electrons to complete the octet. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So already 4 were there, so totally 8 electrons. And for this oxygen, already a pair is there, so put 6 more electrons. Here also 6 more electrons to complete the octet, and here also 6 more electrons. So now the octet is complete for oxygen, doublet is completed for hydrogen. Now check for central atom, chlorine, whether octet is complete. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Octet is complete. So you need not shift any electrons from here to make a multiple bonding. So simply represent this with bond. So chlorine with a single bond, oxygen, single bond oxygen, single bond oxygen, and again single bond here, and oxygen single bond hydrogen. And don't forget to put the unshared electrons. So here 6 electrons for these 3 oxygen, and here 4 electrons. So this is the Lewis representation of HClO4. As I told you, you need not put all these steps one by one and then show your answer. If you are okay, or if you are comfortable with this structure, you can put it directly. And while writing the answer, if a question is asked in the exam, you can do all this in the rough work and represent only this as the answer. You need not show all these steps. Now I'll show you 2 more examples and then we will move on to the next topic. Lewis representation of NO3 minus ion. and see, represent the skeletal structure N with 3 oxygens, and put one shared pair of electrons between each, and complete the octet for the oxygen. See, in the same picture we can do everything, and this is the completed picture, and this is the Lewis representation where we represent the pair of electrons as bonds. And remember, here only 6 electrons are there for nitrogen, so we are moving a pair of electron from the oxygen. So you have to put 2 more electrons here, so we are putting a double bond, and all these are unpaired electrons, unshared electrons. And don't forget to put this minus, put a bracket and put this minus here. This is the Lewis representation of NO3 minus ion. The next one is Lewis representation of SO4 2 minus ion. So you put the skeletal structure, put sulfur in the center and 4 oxygens, and put a shared pair of electron between each sulfur and oxygen. Complete the octet for all the oxygens. Now check for sulfur. For sulfur, octet is complete, so no need of multiple bonding. So just represent it as such and put this 2 minus outside the bracket. So this is the Lewis representation of SO4 2 minus ion. This Lewis representation of the simple molecules, they are helpful in learning the properties of these molecules. So we are going to use this representation to calculate formal charge. Now I will define what is formal charge, and I'll show you how to calculate that formal charge. When you take a molecule, there is no charge on the molecule as a whole. Or if you take a polyatomic ion like CO3 2 minus, although the charge present on the ion is the charge on the ion as a whole and not on the individual atoms. But for some purposes, it is useful to assign a formal charge to each atom in a molecule or ion. So we are going to define this formal charge actually for a particular atom in a molecule or in a ion. So how to define this or calculate this formal charge? Formal charge on an atom in a molecule or in an ion is defined as the difference between the number of valence electrons of that atom in the free state and the number of electrons assigned to that atom in the Lewis structure, assuming that in each shared pair of electrons, the atom has one electron of its own and the lone pair on it belongs to it completely. So if you don't understand this statement that I've said now, you can see this formal charge formula that I've written here. The formal charge of an atom in a molecule or ion is equal to total number of valence electrons in the free atom. See, remember, we are talking about formal charge of an atom. So you have to take the total number of valence electrons of that selected atom minus total number of lone pair of electrons, which means the non-bonding electrons, minus half the total number of shared electrons, which means bonding electrons. So this is the formula to calculate the formal charge of an atom. Now I will show you an example how to calculate this formal charge of an atom which is in a molecule. So the first example is calculate the formal charge on each oxygen atom of O3 molecule. So the first step is to draw the Lewis structure of O3 molecule. O3 is ozone. So you know how to draw the Lewis structure. So Lewis structure you have to represent with the bond pairs and also the lone pair. So now let's number these oxygens as 1, 2, 3 because we are going to calculate the formal charge for each atom. So let's calculate for this first oxygen. So formal charge of oxygen atom 1. You know the formula. Formal charge is equal to valence electrons in free atom minus lone pair electrons minus half the shared electrons. So here the selected atom is oxygen. For oxygen the number of valence electron is 6. So put that 6 for this. So 6 minus lone pair electrons. How many lone electrons are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to count. So 4 electrons are there, lone electrons, minus half the shared electrons. How many electrons are shared between this oxygen and this oxygen? A double bond is there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So total 4 electrons. So 6 minus 4 minus half into 4. So that gives you an answer of 0. So the charge of this oxygen in this molecule is 0. Now let's calculate for the second oxygen. So formal charge of oxygen atom 2, valence electrons in free atom. Since this is oxygen, again it is 6 minus lone electrons. So how many lone electrons are there on this oxygen? Just 2. So there are 2 electrons minus half the shared electrons. So now this oxygen is bonded to this and this oxygen. So calculate both the shared electrons. So this side it is 4 and this side it is 2. So 4 plus 2 will give you 6. So the total number of shared electrons 6. So 6 minus 2 minus half into 6. So that gives you plus 1. So the charge of this oxygen is plus 1. And finally for the third oxygen, valence electron is 6 minus how many lone electrons are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So total lone electrons 6 minus half the shared electrons. This oxygen is bonded to this oxygen through a double bond. Sorry, a single bond. So only 2 electrons are there. So half into 2. So that gives you minus 1. So the charge on this oxygen is minus 1. So you can represent the ozone, O3, along with the formal charge like this. So this oxygen, no charge. For this, it is plus and this is minus 1. Just now we calculated. So this is how you have to calculate the formal charge. Here in the question, it is said calculate the formal charge on each oxygen atom. So we calculated for all the 3 atoms. So they will specify to calculate which atom's formal charge. So you can do only for that particular atom. Now let's see 2 more examples. Calculate the formal charge on sulfur in HSO4 minus ion. So you know how to draw the Lewis structure for HSO4 minus. So this is the Lewis structure for HSO4 minus, and to calculate the formal charge on sulfur, what is the formula? Valence electron in sulfur minus lone electrons minus half the shared electrons. So sulfur, you know the atomic number is 16, so the number of valence electron is 6. So 6 minus, see sulfur is here as the central atom. No unpaired electrons, sorry, unshared electrons. So put 0 here. Minus half the shared electrons. So how many electrons are shared between sulfur and oxygen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So totally 8 shared electrons. So put 8 here. So you're getting a charge of plus 2. So the formal charge on sulfur in HSO4 minus is plus 2. And the next example, calculate the formal charge on chlorine in HClO4. So this is the Lewis structure of HClO4. Now formal charge for chlorine, number of valence electron is 7. And again, since it is a central atom, no unpaired electrons. So 0 minus half shared electrons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 shared electrons. So put 8 there. So you're getting an answer of plus 3. So what is the formal charge on chlorine? It is plus 3. So to draw this Lewis structure and to calculate this formal charge, we considered octet rule. So according to octet rule, atoms will be stable if they have 8 electrons in their valence shell. So based on that, we did all this Lewis structure and also the bond formation by Cousel and Lewis approach. Now I'm going to tell you there are some exceptions in octet rule. Although octet rule is able to explain the formation of a large number of compounds, there are some exceptions to this rule. So let's see that exceptions to octet rule. The first exception is formation of compounds involving hydrogen. As hydrogen atom, as you know, has only one shell containing one electron, it needs one more electron to complete its shell. That is, to acquire the nearest noble gas configuration of helium. So hydrogen needs to complete its doublet and not octet as explained by octet rule. So hydrogen is an exception to octet rule. So compounds involving hydrogen are an exception to octet rule. And the second one is the formation of compounds like BeCl2, BF3, AlCl3. In each of these molecules, the central atom has less than 8 electrons. So here the central atom is beryllium, here boron, and there aluminium. So here they have less than 8 electrons. So these compounds are called as electron deficient compounds. I have given the example of beryllium. Here beryllium is a central atom and it has only 4 electrons. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. But still it is stable. So as you know, octet rule is violated here. In the case of boron BF3, boron has 6 electrons, and same way aluminium also has 6 electrons around it. So they are electron deficient compounds because they don't have 8 electrons, but still they are stable. So here again octet rule is violated. And the third one is formation of compounds like PCl5, SF6 and IF7. In each of these molecules, the central atom has more than 8 electrons. So we call these as expanded octets. So here less than 8 electrons, so we call them electron deficient compounds. Here the central atom has more than 8 electrons. For example, if you take PCl5, here the central atom phosphorus has 10 electrons around P. Same way in the case of SF6, the central atom has 12 electron, and in IF7, iodine has 14 electrons. So again, what is violated? Octet rule is violated in these molecules. Why? Because instead of 8 electrons, they have more than 8 electrons, but still they are stable. So again, these molecules are exceptions to octet rule. And next one is formation of compounds of noble gases. And this octet rule was framed by looking at the noble gases. All the noble gases, they have, except helium, they all have 8 electrons in their valence shell, and that's the reason they were very stable. So based on this octet rule, noble gases which have already completed octets or doublet in case of helium should not form compounds. But we have compounds like xenon fluoride, XeF2, XeF4 and XeF6, and we also have KrF2. So if these compounds are possible, then again they are exception to octet rule because they already have 8 electrons. They are not supposed to react with other atoms to form compounds, but still they form. And the next last one is odd electron molecules. There are some molecules or ions in which the bonded atoms contain odd number of electrons, usually 3 between them. So the bonds thus present are called odd electron bonds, and these molecules are called as odd electron molecules. Now if you see here, see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 here, 1, 2, 3. 3 electrons are there between nitrogen and oxygen. We call them as odd electron molecules. A 3 electron bond is usually considered to be equivalent to half covalent bond. Other examples of odd electron molecules are nitrogen dioxide, superoxide ion, O2 minus. All these are examples of odd electron molecules. So these are exceptions to octet rule. When I started this lesson, chemical bonding and molecular structure, I told you different theories have been put forward from time to time. And I listed a few theories. One such theory was Cossel-Lewis approach. In that, Lewis-Langmuir concept explained the covalent bond formation. There are certain limitations to that theory. That's the reason we have new theories like VSEPR theory, valence bond theory and molecular orbital theory. So what are the limitations of Lewis-Langmuir concept of covalent bond that led to the other theories? The main drawback of Lewis-Langmuir concept of covalent bond is it could not explain the shapes of molecules containing covalent bonds. We know different molecules possess different shapes, so this theory could not explain the shapes of these molecules. And secondly, it could not explain the release of energy during the formation of a covalent bond. So why energy is released when there is a bond formation? That could not be explained by Lewis-Langmuir concept. So to overcome and explain these limitations, other theories were put forward. So we will be seeing about these theories in the upcoming videos. Thank you.